Hello, this is Matthew McGuire, and this is my final presentation for TIE-593. This presentation is going to talk about my research project, and this is my research question. Is the use of lockdown browsers or other monitoring procedures necessary to maintain the quality and integrity of learning assessment in the 21st century classroom? I found a bunch of great literature on this subject. The main piece of literature that I used for my project was the Journal of Academic and Business Ethics. It talked about honesty control issues that arise with online and proctored exams. It talked about the cost structures for having proctors versus having software to handle the computers. And then it talked about a bunch of control procedures that should be developed either by the administration and have professional development to teach teachers how to thwart, as they say, online exam cheating. The next relevant piece of literature that I used was in the Atlantic Marketing Journal. And it was about the ease of environment. The ease of environment meant that the increased opportunities for students to violate academic standards. This particular piece of literature walked through different steps on how to reduce these opportunities by clarifying to students what is cheating, how is cheating done, and what are the consequences. Again, if this was paired with the professional development from the previous literature, it could make a very solid procedural standard for testing and exam taking at any school. Here are some of those methods that they use to reduce the opportunity. So here's a nice little chart. I included this in my paper. How did I get other data for my paper? I used two surveys, one going to the teachers from my school and one to students from a variety of classes at Mount Carmel High School. This is an example of the survey that I gave the teachers. I had some questions, some intro questions about what department do you teach in, how many years you've been teaching, and then it goes on to specifically ask where do you see the most academic integrity violations? In this particular chart, it shows that they find that homework is one of the highest academic integrity. In one of my teacher interviews, which was another way that I gathered data, the teachers said that the use of cell phones to photograph other people's homework and just copy is out of control. It's too easy for them to not do the work themselves because they can just snap a picture, copy it fairly easily with never even seeing or talking to that particular friend. The summary of the data that I did, the secondary question to the one I just asked was, is the quality of education impacted by these devices? As I just said, mobile devices were one of those areas that they feel that is impacting the quality of the education, and lack of enforcement of mobile phone rules. There are some schools that allow mobile phone use anywhere you want. There are some schools that have total outright bans of it. I think you have to find something in the middle, but in the classroom, I personally think that mobile phone use, unless with permission, or if your device is compromised by lack of battery or some other feature, that mobile phones should not be used in the classroom. I asked if teachers would use a lab that was equipped with a lockdown browser. As you can see here, 70% said yes. The other 25% said no. Upon further investigation of those answers, I found that some of those were science or lab-based teachers who answered no to those questions. Summary of the analysis that I just made is I agree that there's both integrity and quality charts that clearly show that procedures or software is needed to raise the integrity of the education being delivered by the teachers and the administrators. Procedures, policies, and protocols have to be put in place to raise all of these standards. Again, all of these items can very easily be done and taught to staff and administration through well-designed professional development. My recommendations. I would like to see a school-wide clampdown on mobile phone use. I would like to see implementation of rules about the bring your own devices and software put on those devices so they're better tracked and that we know that what they're doing. I also think that they should have a dedicated exam lab with lockdown browser and proctoring devices there so that students can take their exams without the opportunity to have academic integrity violations, and thus allowing them to have a higher quality of education. I have talked repeatedly about professional development that can be used in this process. Developing these protocols, these standards, can be done through professional development. In fact, putting it out to the teachers to have them kind of put their own spin on what protocols should be done and how they should be done would make the professional development a lot more meaningful. Thank you. This was a very large learning experience for me. I'm not the greatest research and paper writer, but I learned a lot through this class, through this program, and I'm grateful to all the instructors and teachers that I had along the way, and I'm glad that I'm finally finished. Thank you very much.